All right, so I got a chance to see Eden, um, by Ron Howard. He is one of the legendary directors. I'll put up a few um, images of the films he's just directed, so you could kind of see, like, some people watch a lot of his movies and they don't realize he's that, oh, this is Ron Howard too. Oh, this is Ron Howard too. He's directed so many stuff. So that's one of the reasons. Now I can't even say that's one of the reasons I went to see it, because I didn't find out until afterwards, and I was just like, oh wow, that explains why it was so good, and why you could tell that this is someone who knows their craft. Um, but yeah, so one thing I wanted to say is this movie, Sydney Sweeney she's amazing in this film. She's literally like unrecognizable as far as like anything you've ever seen her in. You've never seen her like this. You've never seen her like this is a very dramatic and thrilling. It's a thriller, drama, and there's definitely some action in it, but it's more thriller and drama. And she's amazing. She's amazing. They're on an island. I'm not gonna spoil much about it. I don't think many of you guys will see it, but if you do, that's awesome. But they're on an island, and it's the Galapagos. It's based on a true story, and I believe it's after World War One. I'm pretty sure. A professor and his wife, they go to be alone, to be in seclusion, away from everything. So they're gonna start fresh, you know what I mean? And then they write to the newspaper to let them know they're on this island. Word gets out to America, and everyone's like, "Oh snap!" Like it sounds great. Let's get away to an island. Build our own houses. Until you get there, and you realize there's bugs, there's wild dogs, there's death everywhere. Everything could kill you. You know what I mean? It's not all sunshine and rainbows. So, long story short, they're on the island, and they're already building, have what they're building, and then now more people are starting to come to the island. Some people are coming for nefarious purposes and just only out for themselves. There's a woman with a name, forgetting her name. I'm forgetting her name. Jesus Christ, I can't forget her name. Um, hey Google, tell me the cast of Eden.
Eden has a cast of 17 actors. Here are the first three: Sydney Sweeney, Ana de Armas, and Vanessa Kirby.
All right, thank you. Using technology in a way we can all try to make it work. All right, so Ana de Armas is who I was thinking about. She plays someone with no soul. Like, she's very disarming and she's cute and stuff like that. But this movie, like, she was in Bond, and she was good in Bond, but she was the wrong character. Anyone who sees this is gonna want to put her in the next Bond as a villain, because she played. That's another person in this who kills the role. And the gentleman who was in these roles too, I forgot their names, but I'll put them up there so you can see in the photos. But they were amazing as well. But Ana de Armas, she has like a black soul in this movie, and it's like you watch certain things happen to her, and her do certain other things. Think about this, on the island, and there's no people. It's gonna be lawless. There's gonna be things going on. There's gonna be, like, it's raining. It's gonna be crazy, And then when you get supplies, like, it's gonna be insane. And then Sydney Sweeney's character gets pregnant. Like, it's insane. What I will say is this: if you want something where you're gonna have anxiety the whole film, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, oh no. Like, if you want a film like that, you're gonna be like that the whole film, then this is for you. If you want a film that feels a tad bit long, but I think it rewards itself, because at the end, once you get through all of this craziness, you get to see like footage of the people from real life. When they were on the island, you get to see like old footage, and you get to see, obviously it's based on a true story. You get to see what happened, if they survived, and different things like that. Because there's at least some survivors. That's how we got the story. But you check it out, and I think that was a little bit rewarding. That was definitely rewarding to see the whole film. But I think they could cut a little bit out, make it a little more short, make it shorter. But I was in it. I was in for the count. And if I did have to give this a number out of a five stars, I'd give this a solid 3 out of 5. The reason I wouldn't go to like a 4 is because, like I said, you fill the length a little bit at bits, and then also, I think that's pretty much it. I think normally if you don't fill it and it just sails right through, then it works. But yeah, I give it a 3 out of 5, or like a 3.5 out of 5. I'll go 3.5 out of 5 stars, just because the anxiety that this film gives you is just, it's unprecedented for me. Like, I'll go to movies and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, some stuff might shock me. I'm like, all right. But there's certain scenes in this film where I feel like at least 45 minutes in the film, I was sitting in my chair like this, like, like leaning back, like almost fetal position, and just like I was like, I was like riding with the film. I was like, oh man, because they're on an island. Think about it. There's people on an island, no help, and they have to fend for themselves. There's all these dangerous animals and stuff that could come at any point. You got a person who's pregnant, you got people who are sick, and then you got people who are like, oh, we just make drinking water. And then you got people who want to take it, or you got people who want to act like they're nice. There's not too many supplies. And then the story about, certain characters who show up, like including Ana de Armas. That's like she's going there, she's trying to think she's about to create a whole hotel, which is gonna take years, but she only went there with like 3 people, and like it's like I said, she has a black soul. If you want to see it, you could check it out. But like, if it's an experience, it is definitely an experience. Is what I would say. I enjoyed myself, but like I said, I can't even say it was a fun experience. It was like, it wasn't fun. It was what can I say? It was a journey. I think it made me feel fortunate. I mean, I went to Africa for like a whole month, so like I understand, like, certain things, like certain people don't have certain things, and to be grateful, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, like, watching the movie and seeing people like build stuff from scratch, like, it makes you, when you go back to your house or wherever you live and you see people running water, it's like, it just makes you, I think it makes you feel more appreciative and kind of puts stuff perspective, even though I already had that, but like, it still helps. It's good to kind of immerse yourself in certain things like that, certain stories, to remind us of like how strong the human mind really is and the human will, but then also how corrupt it can be, when left to, if you ever seen Lord of the Flies, but like how, you know, like human nature. I believe people are good at heart, and I do believe that, you know there's gonna bad people everywhere, but it's harder when you have nothing and there's weather going around, and like you're sick, you have no food, you have nothing. Like, there's a guy on the island. It's the last thing I'll say about it. There's a guy on the island. There's a family on the island. There's 2 people on the island who first got there. They want to be vegetarian, so they're growing vegetables, which is okay. That's awesome. But they have a wild pig who keeps coming and eating all their vegetables, and this guy does not want to kill. He's not a killer, So, and he's trying to shoo it away every morning, but keeps eating all his vegetables until he has almost nothing. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'm just saying it's hardships. And then what you gonna do if you have no vegetables? You're trying to be a vegetarian on an island, bro. Like, something's gotta give. But I would say definitely check it out. But yeah, something's gotta give. But it just went crazy sometimes. But it's an experience, is what I will say. If you want to go to the theater and see something where it's gonna make you feel a lot of different emotions, and you're gonna be like on a wild ride, and you don't want to. I didn't watch the trailers, so I went in trailer blind. So if that's what you want, something where people on a strand, they're not even stranded on the island. They went there by choice, and there's only like 6 people on the island. So if that's something that interests you, go see it without watching the trailers. I will tell you, it's by Ron Howard. I'm going to show you a list of his movies somewhere over here, so you can see he's a acclaimed director. You're not going to walk in the movie and say that was whack. You might just say something like me, which is, it was a tad bit long. But is it a good film? Yes. Is it a well-made film? Yes. Do all the actors go above the stars, and you're watching it like this is almost a bit Oscar worthy? I'd say yes. I'd say yes. I'm sure Sydney Sweeney is not going to get an Oscar for this, but I think she should be recognized. The gentlemen in the film were good too, but it's just that her character has so much to work with, and certain parts of certain scenes that she has to deal with and what she has to deliver in those scenes, and the fear that she has when you see what's going on in this situation that she's in, and it's her alone. It's masterful. She bodied it. So acting is above the roof. The filmmaking is at its highest level, and like I said, it's just a tad bit long. That's it. That's the only thing I could say about this. So if you want, check it out. I recommend it. I recommend it, but know what you're getting in for. I didn't watch any of the trailers, so I don't know if they spoiled everything, but it's based on a true story. Galapagos Islands. I remember hearing about Galapagos Islands when I was in elementary school, and I always thought it was cool about all the different creatures and animals and stuff on the island and new species. So check it out. One only other thing I'll say about it, that would have been a cool element if they went more into showing the species on the island, because that's something that like I grew up in elementary and teaching about Galapagos Islands was really cool. But the thing is, that's not what the movie's about. The movie's not about the species on the island. They're about the people on the island, you know, and dealing with other people and human nature and also chaos in it. That's really what the movie's about, and trying to create families from scratch. It's not about that, but just me selfishly, I'm like, oh, I wish I saw a new species, and they wanted to show a couple of different, you know. It would have been cool if they just added a character who wasn't based on a true story, like they added like a random scientist, and then he went to, then we went on little missions with him, but that's a whole nother movie. So like I said, that's not a gripe on the movie. That's just my imagination running wild. So check it out if you want. Eden, and like I said, this is some of the movies the director did. I'm showing it again. I want you to see this is a director who knows what he's doing. Ron Howard. I know some people, just like me, some movies I watch millions of times, like, oh, that's my favorite movie, that's my favorite movie. And then I watch like 3 of my favorite movies, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was by the same director or the same screenwriter. So sometimes you don't know these things. So I just want you guys to see certain films they've done, which is Ron Howard done this great stuff. And if you don't know, that's Dallas Bryce Howard's father. So that's another fun fact. Some people don't know these things. I didn't know Dallas Bryce Howard's father until like, I think like last year. So like some people don't look up that stuff. I don't really follow the fan stuff or the random stuff. Facts. I don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So there you go. Peace out. Take care. It's Dejo Know the Name. Spread love and light. And we're going to sign off. We're on an island. What we going to do? We're going to have to swim away